Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Sports Talk Network channel. And specifically here to the review for Monday Night Raw. I set up here, WWE.com, where they have they have the results for Raw. So, show is played up, booked, and now I'm going to talk about it here for this Raw review. Show starting off with Kurt Angle. Talking about his match and hyping that up, him and Ronda Rousey to face Stephanie McMahon, Triple H in a mixed tag team match there. And also got word, you know how that works, just got word that Brock Lesnar isn't going to be there. He said whether it's travel problems or however, he just didn't show up. And then Roman Reigns comes out there, talks about how it's disrespectful and Brock's in on his butt and Roman works hard. He goes out, kind of the same thing he said yesterday, only in a different manner and with someone else actually in the ring. Well, no, 2 weeks ago. Because last week, Paul Heyman was there 2 weeks ago when he first took the promo. Then Paul Heyman was there last week, and now this. So I'm almost misremembering what happened only 1 week ago and 2 weeks ago. But either way, talking about Brock again and saying that disrespectful that he's not there and how, they're in Detroit saying, if you weren't at your job, you'd be fired. Brock being preparing treatment, calling him Vince McMahon's bully, which is ironic because I'm sure Roman is, to be frank. And that's, no, dissing on saying that. It's just feels to be the truth. And then Reigns then saying the problem isn't really Brock, it's more so Vince McMahon for letting Brock Lesnar do whatever he wants and this and this and that and that and this, and then ending with leaving, and then the camera actually follows him to the back, and then it was stared down there with Vince, and lo and behold, look who's there in the background between Reigns and Vince McMahon is his son Shane McMahon. What the heck is he doing there? Isn't he the the commissioner of SmackDown Live? What's he doing on the roster? Just visiting his dad or something? I know in real life, he might have a backstage presence, but just interesting that since this was going to be on TV, it's one of those things like it's going to be on TV, like this thing of being planned. There's storylines, it is entertainment, WWE. But so that part of it, but you still in the end meant to have Shane McMahon in the, not just in the photo, but part of the, in the photo, as in the photo that I'm seeing here, part of the opening segment here on WWE.com, showing the photo with Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns, and then Shane in the background, kind of giving Roman a stare down himself, kind of like he did in the past with Triple H, now his brother-in-law. Excuse me. So I don't know. I know it's not going to be Shane McMahon versus Roman Reigns. Shane's standing up for his father. Shane McMahon's facing, I would assume, Owens and Zayn in a tag team match with somebody. But just interesting in that aspect. Like I said, it's planned. Storylines, this and that. That was that. And then the other side of it saying, okay, that is, then why then have Shane McMahon there? Or why plan it and have him there in the background is what I mean. Being what's supposed to be happening. Now, if that was done, even though, yes, it was meant to, but it was supposed to show, like, hey, Roman Reigns is coming back to, confront Vince McMahon, over the Brock Lesnar absence, I guess, and this wasn't planned to happen, sort of thing, like, it wasn't, even though it was, obviously, sort of thing, like, that's why, Shane's there, or Shane gets to be, they're part of the segment. Otherwise, differently, sort of thing. I don't know. I hope I'm not confusing you all on how I'm explaining this, but it's just interesting that you have Shane McMahon in the background. Whether it's to show that, hey, this wasn't quote unquote planned, but in the end was, because the storylines, entertainment is already, rambled about. But still, then, this and that. I guess Shane McMahon's going to have a big announcement tomorrow night on SmackDown Live in regards to WrestleMania and his plans. Again, I think he'll be facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, either handicap match, tag team match. If they could take partner of his choosing, but there's an interesting moment there on that Raw. Just that little moment that I brought up there with Shane McMahon. A moment maybe others wouldn't care too much about, but one that I thought was prevalent, interesting, and I found interesting. And I wanted to bring it to light here on the show. Then Renee Young tries to interview Roman Reigns, much saying, because she's right in front of Vince McMahon's office. After Vince McMahon told Kevin, go to commercial, and they come back. Renee tried to interview Reigns. He's not having any of it. Interviews Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's saying, well, Brock, does he get a preferential treatment? Yes, he does. But a talent like him, he kind of deserves it. Does that talent take advantage of it? Yes, he does. Should he get in trouble? Maybe. But he's not going to, because he's Brock Lesnar. And he's going to be leaving after WrestleMania anyways. So I don't care. Meaning Vince McMahon, not me. I mean, I don't care either. But either way, then saying that Brock Lesnar will be on Monday Night Raw next week. He guarantees it. Okay, so if they continue this storyline of Brock not showing up to shows, and next week he doesn't show up after Vince McMahon himself says he's going to, that would be interesting. And what would they go there? Would Vince now suspend Brock? Another match is suspended until further notice. Brock's now temporarily suspended, just like Roman Reigns is temporarily suspended. Okay, so then we're not supposed to see them, or probably won't see them until the go-home show, or maybe not even until WrestleMania itself, like that being the big storyline to the biggest match of the WrestleMania 34 card, probably will be the main event, if not the Cena Taker match, and I'll talk about that later, or here shortly. But all in all this, that's what happened. Vince McMahon suspending Roman Reigns. Temporary suspension. Okay, a way to get Roman off TV. A little break until we get to WrestleMania. Maybe if they continue this all the way to that point to WrestleMania, and then it's a question during the pre-show of, will this match actually happen? Will Brock be stripped of the title? Maybe in the go-home show if neither of them show up, or if they can't because they're technically still temporarily suspended by Vince McMahon. Then during the pre-show, will this match happen? Will Brock show up? Because they know Roman's going to show up. He didn't show up in the past couple of weeks because of the suspension. Again, if it goes the way that I'm thinking and booking it in my head right now, will be stripped of the title, this and that. That actually builds intrigue into a match that might not too many people are actually highly anticipating, highly interested in. Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, Universal Championship, or some say the Universal Champ. And that match that probably kind of should main event WrestleMania. We'll see. We'll see. Now I see here in the chat, Jay Thomas is here, so thanks for being here. Lovely, smart, awesome, and talented Jay Thomas. Saying Nia versus Bliss, yes, but will WWE actually let Nia win this time? Shane versus Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, triple threat match. Okay, that makes sense. Since you're getting animosity between Owens and Zayn the last couple of weeks, boiling over to and what happened at WWE Fastlane. And she goes on to say, I think they all go to each other's shows. Considering two, now Asuka is on both shows, and the McMahon's pretty much on both of all three of them, so each of them having to be on both. So is Bray and Matt actually fighting at Matt House? Yeah, Hardy's compound, final deletion, total deletion match, whatever they're going to call it, or was called. I don't really care too much about that feud. I want it to be done and over with. Bray Wyatt getting the win, which I don't know how much that'll do for him, but okay, whatever. He's win WrestleMania and move on with their lives there. Just want that feud to be over because it's been going on long enough. As for, going on each of the shows, okay. I mean, it's interesting that we are going to be having Asuka still on Monday Night Raw, though she's going to be challenging the SmackDown Women's Champion. But, who am I to argue about that? But moving right along, talking about Monday Night Raw. Sasha Banks defeating Sonya Deville, a one-on-one contest there. Bailey there just being there, kind of helping her out on currently there. Also was announced to be the first ever women's Battle Royal called the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal, kind of like the men have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The women having a Battle Royal in honor of a pioneer in the business in that division. Mae Young was with the Mae Young Classic, the women's only tournament. Obviously, first ever women's only tournament in WWE. So the Mae Young name has been used for that, because I'm sure that'll continue. That was the first annual. Well, there we go. And this being the first ever, the beginning here, the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal match. And I look forward to it. I'm glad to hear about this. We can, again, I talk about bookending shows. We can bookend the pre-show, which will be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, just 2 hours, don't worry. For WrestleMania, women's starting to pre-show the men's. Probably get a lot of time for both of the matches because it is a battle royal, for gosh sakes. Looking forward to seeing what Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal trophy will look like in the spinning image of Fabulous Moolah, as I would hope, because obviously the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal is in his likeness of his trophy. So it only makes sense and equal opportunity, right? For the women to have whoever they're honoring in the namesake of said Memorial Battle Royal. The trophy be then a bronze version of that woman. So glad to hear it. Maybe unlike the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, the winner of this one, and lucky lady, whoever that to be, now you can start giving theories and thinking of, okay, not only, well, we know who, because the women's division, we know all the participants, but, everybody but Paige, unfortunately. But beyond that, then, who could win, who should win in this and that. So certainly looking forward to it. Moving right along, the entire Raw Tag Team division attacking the Raw Tag Team champions, Cesaro and Sheamus, which leads to the announcement of a Battle Royal to main event the show. Winning team faces Cesaro and Sheamus the Bar at WrestleMania for the Raw Tag Team championships. Then John Cena comes out and asks The Undertaker for one more match, calls him out officially. At first, he was kind of talking about he didn't really have a road to WrestleMania, though he found a way and this and that. And kind of like Roman Reigns 2 weeks ago with, they might not like it in the back, but I want to say this. He's kind of doing the same thing. Like, the people in the back, those suits, Vince McMahon and others might not want me to say this, but dang it, I'm going to say it anyways. I challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. And that kind of, he has better facial expressions than I do in saying that, because he's the one that's a professional, cutting a promo and being an entertainer. But, kind of in that way and in that voice and in that veracity, intensity, there, or being amplified in a sense. And then calling out The Undertaker. So that was kind of interesting. You have Roman Reigns that 2 weeks ago saying, hey, they might not like it in the back, but I got to say this about Brock Lesnar. And John Cena saying that about challenging The Undertaker. And then he goes on, which I didn't think it actually would continue on, but it did. And goes on, John Cena actually cutting a promo on The Undertaker, talking about how, you say first kind of condemning him, for hiding and worrying about what people think of him and this and that, and then kind of give him prop of, you're not washed up, you're not a has-been, otherwise you wouldn't be showing training videos of you working out on your wife, Michelle McCool, lovely and awesome. We did see her at the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, or the first annual, whatever you want to officially call it now. Participate in that, though she has aged a lot, for sure. But anyways, on her Instagram there, so that was an interesting thing. And then calling him selfish and egotistical and this and that. So, hey, the only way to get The Undertaker back, I wanted to have this final match to be the last of Raw, facing John Cena. John Cena probably go over. Hey, whatever works. I'm looking forward to it. I still hope to be able to be there live, but we'll see about that. And to see Undertaker match, his true final match, would be glorious and awesome for me. Indeed. So, if anybody knows of anybody selling tickets or have tickets you just want to give away, let me know. Or otherwise, I know I've been talking to actually some WWE superstars and actually a couple legends too on Twitter in their DMs about they can hook a veteran up. Or just simply a member of the WWE Universe, me being a fan. Finn Balor defeating Seth Rollins in a one-on-one contest. The two challengers for the Miz's, Intercontinental Championship. Okay, but going back to the chat here, Jay Thomas asking, so what do you think is going to happen to John Cena? And I was saying, I call Carmella for Women's Champion at Mania. Oh, I missed the Cena thing tonight. Yeah, check that out. I'm sure it's already on WWE's YouTube channel. If not yet, it sure will be here shortly, I would assume. I call it as well and hope Carmella to cash in and win the Women's Championship. That's going to be the new SmackDown Live Women's Champion. I brought it up at the prediction show for Fastlane and the review of it Sunday and this Thursday and Wrestling Ramble with my review of Fastlane. So what do I think is going to happen to John Cena? John Cena's going to win. And then at SummerSlam, John Cena's going to win the, which one, Universal or one of the titles, Universal WWE Championship. I'm trying to think which one he probably would. I mean, he is still a free agent gimmick. So either one. And then for Dolph Ziggler, I don't know. Jay Thomas. I don't know exactly where WWE wants to go with Dolph. Like, I was hearing rumors it was going to be Dolph against Shane McMahon at WrestleMania, but thank goodness that was only rumors. So what to do with Dolph? I don't know. Throw him in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal because that's what you have for the rest of the roster. And I like that though. As much as people don't like that, we're just going to throw the superstars that aren't actually having storyline part of this Battle Royal, which is why the Battle Royal seems like it became that for that purpose. Almost the same as now with the this Moolah Memorial Battle Royal for the women's division. I like the fact because all of them bust their butts, worked hard, grinded, going to city to city, being away from their own families, whether you are a main eventer, top guy or gal. Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks in the women's division, Roman Reigns, John Cena in the men's division, or the quote-unquote jobbers, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, and in the women's division, I would probably say those being Alicia Fox and Dana Brooke. Didn't think of her name for a moment there. But either way, whatever. All of them work hard. All of them have earned their spot on the roster. All of them have a great history. Even Dana Brooke won competition to others before she joined WWE, this and that. So they have that pedigree. World-class athletes are part of WWE, but not all of them will shine like a diamond. They all aren't diamonds in the rough. So that is just how that be. Jay Thomas saying here in the chat, Cena continue his losing streak at Mania. Since he is technically losing major matches, could Taker versus Cena take Cena over the edge. That's not a terrible idea, not a bad idea. Actually, would say it's a good idea. I don't know about great, but good idea. I mean, Jay Thomas is a smart person. I don't see that happening. I mean, I see maybe the go-home show Undertaker showing up and answering the challenge finally, and then John Cena to finally get him out and is saying, okay, put your career on the line. Like, be a man, your career, or even career versus career. John Cena's at the end of his career. Then whoever wins, the other's career is over. So you have John Cena and The Undertaker going one-on-one. Whoever wins, the other's career is over. So I actually think that would be the way to go than just simply having it The Undertaker's career on the line, because that makes it so super obvious, at least to me, and I'm sure to others in the WWE universe, that then John Cena is going to be going over, getting the win, and The Undertaker's going to retire. I still think that's going to be the case, but if you want more of the unknown and an intrigue and an interest in this match that most may think is not so interesting because of The Undertaker's age and how his matches in the last couple of WrestleManias have gone, you have both their careers on the line. I certainly say that would actually bode well for both. So that's at least the way I see it. Others are welcome to leave a comment in the chat, like Jay Thomas is, and those that if you are watching or archived after this is posted to the channel, welcome to comment there. I know Kip Clips, I know I will be sending you a link as I'm still live now. We'll be sending you a link to this video. Hopefully you see it, but or anybody else, welcome to share your thoughts seriously too. And then with the main event, with the tag team battle royal, there having Braun Strowman coming out there winning it, and he's gonna be facing the tag team champions all alone. I would assume he needs a tag team partner, like as much as showing as strong as Braun is and the monster among men and stuff like that. Having him just win the tag team titles on his own wouldn't make that much sense, at least to me. Also, I forgot to bring up how they actually set up and didn't officially announce the match. We set up Alexa Bliss to face Nia Jax, kind of like DT in the past. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, two friends, talking backstage since there was supposed to be an interview, but the interview was late, and they were just talking in the dressing room and kind of out of shaming Nia Jax, and Nia Jax gets pissed, kind of first sad, then pissed, and then goes back there after Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are told by the interviewer that I'm sorry I'm late, but your microphone has been on? That microphone right there that you're going to be putting on for the interview? Yeah, it's actually on. So everybody in the arena, the millions that are watching on television, along with Nia Jax that was just in a match, kind of heard everything you said. So you kind of want to watch over this one. Yeah, watch over Nia. Nia comes back there. Alexa Bliss and Mickie James are able to escape. They go out the back way, sneak through the back door. Nia Jax comes in, starts throwing stuff around, finds Alexa Bliss's jacket. I thought she was going to rip it in half, like trying to be like a Hulk Hogan thing. No, she just throws it, this and that. I enjoyed that, and I really, right now, already early predicting, confirmed that Nia Jax is going to win the Raw Women's Championship, not Raw Team, but the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Like, I think that's like signed, sealed, delivered. So because it's just going to be the epic story of her defeating Alexa Bliss, the big bad heel, the bully, those with body shaming, that being a serious topic. Now, in real life, in reality, in the real world, outside of the WWE universe, outside of Raw television, and WWE television, Alexa Bliss and Nia Jax are good friends. They're best friends. They've been best friends, or they're good friends since they both came into WWE, to the company in NXT brand show. So I'm sure they had a nice talk privately about, hey, we're going to be facing each other at WrestleMania. I'm supposed to be saying, I'm the heel, you're the face, good guy, bad guy. I'm going to have to say these things about you, this and that. Obviously, I don't mean them, just doing my job. So it's really going to be interesting to see how everything goes on. I know Jatel was just talking about Mickie turning on Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania, and that's how Nia Jax wins the title. That certainly would be interesting if that was what to happen.
I want to get something pierced.
Sorry, I have a video here on Netflix that I can't freaking stop yet.
What would you recommend?
So hold on for a second as I try to pause this. Sorry about that. I guess you guys heard, guys and gals, if you did, a few seconds of the TV show Mom that I'm watching on Netflix. Actually watching on a loop the seasons, or the whole series that is on Netflix, which has 4 seasons on there right now. And they're into their 5th. Anyways, that's pretty much running at Raw to me. I think Jay Thomas and others that did watch live, I do thank her specifically, of course, for commenting in the chat. Look forward to talking to you all continuously tomorrow. SmackDown Live review, then Thursday. Talking about Fastlane, Raw, SmackDown Live, everything else, news and notes, WWE, whether it's news or just rumors as well that floats, on the interwebs here on the internet. But beyond that, that should be it for me. So I hope you all have a great rest of your evening. Also, welcome to follow me on Twitter at WWE_podcast. Forgot to bring that up. That is WWE_podcast. I'm back here with this background, and at least for now, we go from there. See you again tomorrow night, and continuously throughout the rest of the week. Enjoy the rest of your evening or your day. Above all else, as always, take care.